you've been in a position where you have worked in a number of different environments and cultures. What's sort of the first phase of your approach when you're in a new environment? How do you sort of go about it?
Yeah, getting to understand the sport and the players and the staff that you're working with, first and foremost. Certainly with the different sports I've worked with in the past, getting an understanding of your co-workers, getting an understanding of, it can be as simple as getting an understanding of the rules of the sport you're working with, understanding the nuances within the sport, and then understanding what's critical to performance and what's noise, and trying to differentiate between the two, because there's certainly a lot of noise that we tend to worry about in S&C, I think. So I think that they're the initial key aspects.
About a pre-season when you've got, turn over a list and new players, have you had situations where players aren't coping perhaps with the main group program and you have to individualise? How do you sort of bring that to the coaches that we might need to sacrifice a short-term skill aspect for more work and pushing them harder in the gym or on the field from a physical capacity point of view?
Yeah, we bucket our players, for lack of a better term. Guys that need to lose body weight, body comp, guys that need to get bigger, guys that probably need to work on more explosivity, something like that. So if guys need to get bigger, need to get fitter, need to get stronger, our program needs to fit around the main shell of what guys need to do on the field. And that's, I would suggest there's a higher learning component in a lot of the work that we do from potentially other sports. So guys need to be out the field as much as they can. We've got younger guys who come into the program from either club level or from academy levels that just physically, and it's a training age thing. It's nothing else. They're exceptional at the sport, but they've trained, for a couple of years rather than 4 or 5 years as professionals.
Looping back to the speed change in philosophy, doing speed early, it might be 20 minutes into a session after an extensive warm-up and then they hit some speed and then they're often into the footy program, but you chose to make a change and do it later on. And was that due to player feedback? They didn't feel warm enough? Was it due to a few injuries?
We reviewed the 22 season, the 23 season, and found that we wanted to reduce our time on feet a little bit more in terms of the training day. And so one of the things that we looked at was the time spent warming up, the time spent before a session, getting ready to sprint, and then doing speed work at the start of the training session. And we sort of realised that there were ways that we could alter the training week to minimise time on feet, reduce the length of training sessions, and then also reduce the length of session in terms of total volume, high speed running, etc. So one of the strategies we used for that was to integrate our speed into the back end of training once they'd completed all the work that they needed to do with the coaching staff. So it was a strategy based around a review process and a feedback process, both from playing group and from the coaching staff.
What about for the injury side of things to mitigate sort of more your controllable type injuries like hamstrings and calves? What have been some effective strategies that you've seen come in when maybe there's been a problem in that area perhaps, or you're just looking to maximise players' availability?
Yeah, I guess if you're thinking about straight from a S&C perspective, I guess injury mitigations should be intertwined in a sort of well-balanced strength program. We've used some profiling data in the past here at the TARS where we look at specific areas of potential weakness in areas of the body that might be in need of improving. So we look at calf capacity, hamstring capacity, reps to failure with body weight, neck strength, flexion extension ratios as an example, calf strength, hamstring strength with certain isometric tests. And our medics and physios have run a profiling process in the past where we've identified gaps in each player's profiling history and their previous injury history, and then look to make improvements in those areas that they're not as good at.
How do you sort of hang your hat on in terms of things are going the way you want it to? Is it player feedback, like especially the senior players? Is it objective numbers in terms of looking at your squad progressions or coaches' feedback? How do you sort of measure success, I guess, in your role?
I've always felt that you need to be able to demonstrate that you've affected change. And to affect change, you need to have appropriate tests that are measurable, whatever quality that you're looking at, whether it's strength, speed, fitness, whatever you want to look at. You need, in my opinion, as an S&C coach, you need to be able to demonstrate that you've changed what you're designing to change. So I want to get a guy stronger. I've got to show that he's stronger. Whatever test I'm using, whether it's a 1 rep, whatever it is, an isometric test, whatever it is, show me that you've changed something. I think that's critical. I see that teams moving better on a field. So I do think that quantitative change is important. I think it gives you an understanding of your training program. It gives you an understanding of if you've done too much, if you haven't done enough work. You need to be able to sit down and assess what you've done or prescribed as a coach, as an S&C, as a practitioner.